We're running a randomized control trial to measure whether students using Medley will improve learning compared to students who don't use Medley but complete usual homework. Your class is part of the study, and some students will be able to use Medley for homework during these 4 weeks, whilst other students won't. We'll then compare the results of these two student groups. For the results to be valid, every student needs to complete every step in the right order, which is why this walkthrough matters. Over the next 5 weeks, your class will complete a pre-test, 4 weekly homeworks, and a post-test. The pre-test and the post-test are going to measure what the students have learned. And the 4 homeworks in the middle are the part where students would either be using Medley or their usual homeworks that teachers will set. Everything has been built for you. You'll set students pre-made tests and pre-made homeworks on Medley. You'll be able to track how students are progressing in terms of their homeworks so that you can ensure that every student is completing their homework. And this walkthrough shows you how to do that. Students will sit a short timed test before they start using Medley for homework. This needs to be completed in class under exam-style conditions, in a computer room or using the student's own devices with you in the same room. You'll need to book the lesson in first, and then you can set the test on Medley before students arrive. I'm going to show you how you can set the pre-test on Medley before the test begins. So before the lesson, you'll need to set the pre-test. Open up the homework tab on the teacher dashboard and find the pre-test for your class. So here you can see the pre-test for bioenergetics here at the bottom. When you click it, it will open up the test, and you can then set the start date and the due date so that it covers the lesson. So I've got it here set for the 11th of May to start at 9 AM, and the due date is 5 PM just to give some flexibility. But if my lesson is from 9 to 10, then students will be able to complete that with lots of time to spare. Once the start date and the due date has been set for the pre-test to cover the lesson that students will be completing the pre-test in, you can then click Publish All, and this will set the pre-test for students to complete. When students enter the class, they'll be able to log in using their accounts, and they will see this pre-test on the homepage of Medley that they can then complete. Now, in the lesson, as students are completing the pre-test, you'll be able to see students working through the questions live on your screen. Here you can see a list of students who have completed the pre-test. And if anyone doesn't finish in the time or misses the lesson, this will need to be flagged. But ensure that the students complete the pre-test before their homeworks begin from week 1 to week 4. Once the pre-test has been completed, you will need to mark these assessments. At the top of the screen, you will see Mark, and when you click it, it will take you into the marking mode. You can see at the top here the average accuracy on these questions from questions 1 to 6. You can also see the attempts that students have made down here as rows. You can see the question stem as well as the question itself. And you can also see what the student has written for their answer. You can open up the mark scheme to see what mark scheme points are awarded. And you can see the marks that have been awarded by AI. You will need to check through to ensure that the AI marking is accurate and how you would have marked this question. For instance, you can see here a question that a student has attempted, and the AI has correctly assigned the mark scheme point metabolism for this student. If you don't agree with the AI marking, you can change the marks manually. So let's say the student had not written metabolism, they had written an incorrect answer, but the AI had marked incorrectly. You can click this button here to remove that mark from the student. You can also edit the student's score here. Once you've made edits to the marking, you can click Save to then save your updated grades. At the top, you'll see that it says Teacher Edited to show that you have edited the marks. And for questions that have been AI marked, you'll see that it says AI marking instead of Teacher Edited. Students will be set 4 weekly homeworks, 1 homework a week for 4 weeks. Students will be able to do these in their own time, just like normal homework. We've built each one for you. The only thing you need to do is set the homeworks up for your class with the right settings. So every week, open up the homework section and find that week's homework. You can see here we've got the pre-test homeworks week 1 to week 4 set up for you already. When you open up the homework for that specific week, you can set the start date and the due date for this. Once you've set the start date and the due date, just simply click Publish All and this will send the homeworks to your students. Now, throughout the week, you will need to check and chase students to complete their homework. When you scroll down, you can see your students and you can also see which students have completed the homeworks versus students who haven't yet completed the homeworks. Ensure you chase the students who haven't with a quick nudge in class or a message. And this is really important for the trial. We need every student to complete their homework that they've been set on Medley. Otherwise, we won't be able to use their results in the study. A tip is you can set all 4 homeworks in one go if that's easier for you. Just ensure that you set the start dates one after the other for each of the homeworks. After the 4 weeks, students will be needing to complete a post-test. This is the exact same as the pre-test, just at the end. So the process is exactly the same. Book a lesson in the computer room or a class full of student devices so that they can sit the exam in exam-style conditions. Before the lesson, open up the homework tab again, go to the post-test this time, and you can set the start date and the due date so that students can complete this in class, and then click Publish All so that this is set to the students. In the lessons, same as before, you can watch students working through the test live. And if there's anyone who doesn't complete the test, ensure that they are chased up and they complete the test in exam-style conditions. Once the post-test has been completed, you can click Mark, and exactly the same as the pre-test, you'll need to go through each of the students' answers and make sure that you agree with the AI marking or make manual edits yourself. Once you're happy with all of the grades, ensure you click Publish All to then save your marking. So that's the whole 5 weeks. Set the pre-test, mark it, provide your class with 4 homeworks, 1 per week, that's already pre-made on Medley, then set the post-test and complete the marking. If anything looks different on your screen or if a student gets stuck, please just message us, we'll be able to help straight away. And thank you so much for taking part. We genuinely couldn't run this study without you.